Hey guys, we are here with Cora this afternoon. What I want to show everybody in this video is the importance of using your leash correctly, having it positioned properly, and having leash handling skills as a handler, how super important that is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, so right now her leash isn't positioned exactly where I would like it to be. I'm going to make it down even a little further. Okay, so like that's where like most people would keep their leash, like down around like where their collar sits, right? I'm also going to give Cora 0 direction using the leash, which is what most people would do, where they're just, like, why does my dog pull? Well, because you're not telling them to do anything different. You're just letting them do this, right? So granted, I'm not going to let her pull because I never let my dogs move forward when there's tension on the leash. But even just this, right? So it's not positioned properly. She's just going left and right and zigzagging, has no attention towards me. See, totally tense leash. If we moved forward right there, she would just pull, right? She would be like, how come she pulls? Well, because you're teaching her that I'll move forward when there's pressure, that's fine with me. Me personally, I never allow my dogs to move forward when there's tension. So when we go out to potty, I do what I call the lawnmower, which is where I do a quick pop and release, like you're starting a lawnmower. It's not a long, drawn-out pull and then you release tension. It's a quick, no, don't do that, right? So as soon as they get to tension at the end of the leash, you see, as soon as she felt any pressure at all, see, she knows, like, ooh, I got to pay attention because I followed through with that every single time. So right there, she could pull me if she wanted to, or I can go like this and give her that communication of a yellow light, which is what I've showed in other videos, red light, yellow light, green light. So this is how you're going to have an inconsistent dog, and you're telling your dog they can do whatever they want. One, because their leash is not positioned properly, so that it's going to just put pressure on their trachea, which is going to get a dog that goes, right? You don't want that. Nobody wants that, first of all. Second of all, your dog shouldn't be pulling to that point where they're putting that much pressure that it's on their trachea and they're losing air. Okay, so what you want to have your leash look like, good girl, is nice and high up, framing their skull. See how it goes? Cora's a great definition of this because you can see like right where her skull is, right? Now look at the difference when I just position it properly. It's also up high underneath her chin. Let's see if, good girl, right? There we go. Yeah, you wiggly, right? So you can see immediately, as soon as I position it properly, look how much calmer she is, because already when I apply pressure, I'm applying it to the pressure points in her skull. I'm not just applying it to her throat, where she's never had any follow through before, right? So if it's positioned properly, I have a way to communicate with her, either a full-on calm down, which is pressure on, and it continues to stay on, solid, no ons and offs and changing how much pressure you put. It's solid tension until her butt hits the ground, and then the pressure releases. As soon as butt hits ground, my hand kind of goes like this, right? So I don't drop the leash, but I drop the pressure. I literally, like, my shoulder goes up and I just drop it, okay? So you can see it even shifted a little bit, so I'll readjust. I want this silver loop to be positioned with her nose so that it's centered. You're gonna see this is what's gonna happen. It's gonna fall, it's gonna go down here, right? Okay, so this is a good, we have a little girl on a bike, so I'm gonna, step on her toe. That's it. Okay, that's fine. So there was a little girl on a bike, so follow through, right? Okay, I didn't get all worked up about it. It's harder to do holding a phone, of course. I would have done that a lot smoother had I had both hands on the leash, but it's hard using this hand. Right, so back to where we were. It was also not positioned properly because we were trying to demonstrate. So anyway, like I was saying, you want that positioned with her nose so that it's centered. You're going to see it's going to slip and slide. You just want to readjust, especially in the beginning when you are learning to do this. Every time you do pressure and release or a pop, it's going to slip a little bit, right? So that's just part of the training, part of it, getting used to handling the leash so that that doesn't happen. And that's gonna go away when you have this nice loose leash and you can move forward with her without any tension. Then that's gonna stay where it is, because you're not gonna be on and off and on and off and off. See how it moves a little bit? Right, so this is perfect. So now I'm using leash handling skills to communicate with her. Every time I don't want her to do something, I can either give her a pop to say, slow down or pay attention. And I can do a full-on stop to communicate, calm down. Okay, I'm going to add spatial pressure. Cora. So I didn't tell her to SIT, right? I just said her name and got her attention. She knows what pressure means. It's a matter of how do I get her to pay attention so that she realizes pressure's on. I don't want to give her the answer to her homework every single time by saying sit, right? That's not what I'm asking her to do right now. We're not doing a sit stay. We are, oops, so here's my cat. So this is a good demonstration too. So you can see as soon as she got up, I applied pressure. And I'm going to add spatial pressure, which is blocking her basically. And I still have the solid force of tension. Cora. Good girl. Okay. So loose. The cat's right there. She's looking at him. Okay, so we're just going to be nice and calm. I'm not going to get all worked up about it. If she can learn to just sit and be calm, right? So she got up. Pressure reapplied, and it's still just 2 fingers worth. Cora. Cora. Right? So what I'm asking her to do right now is calm down by using pressure, right? And that's exactly what I want her to do right now. Cora. Good. Right? So I have to get her attention by using her name, saying her name. Good girl. Now I have to get her attention off of the cat. We can't just sit here and bask in the fact that there's something really annoying to her. Cora. Good girl. So what I am going to do is go to my treat pouch. Cora. Yes. Cora. Put her back in the sit position. Now I have something more exciting. Treats. High value treats. I have little tiny pieces of hot dog right now. See, I cut them up into teeny little pieces. And I have a way, Cora, to get her to focus on me without using astronomical amounts of pressure. Pressure isn't the answer to everything, right? Just holding your leash really, really tight is just making your job harder, right? If you use it correctly, so even through the distraction, Cora, sit. Good girl. So this is harder to demonstrate when I'm holding a phone. I should put my tripod up this time and demonstrate. Okay, but this is great, right? So it's okay that oh, now I have both my cats here. So now it's double the distraction, which is good. She needs to learn to just be calm in distracting settings. Cora. Yes, good girl. Cora. Good. No pressure, just me. Pressure. So yeah, that's what happens when we try to record and do a lesson. Cora. Good. Sit. Good. Cora. Come. Good girl. Sit. Yes, good girl. Sit. Trying to give her something else to think about rather than the distraction, right? And I'm not doing any of this with any pressure, right? This is being all done by me just talking to her and using something that's more exciting than the distraction. Good girl. Using positive reinforcement of my voice. Sit. Good. Stay. Come. Sit. Come. Sit. So as soon as she looked at the cats, I took my treat and I said, no, look at this instead. Right? Same with the kids over there. So I have some kids playing basketball and riding their bike. Cora. Cora. Girl, sit. So I'm using my treats as a motivator. Cora, come. Now this is hard for her to follow through. She's used to just darting at whatever she sees that she wants. She's a big hyper girl. She needs to learn how to do this and do it successfully a bunch of times so that she knows there's another way to do things. I don't need to dart towards things, right? So right there, she tries to pull ahead, lawnmower, right? And then we go right back to loose. Your goal is to always have this loose. If you learn to just release pressure, you're going to learn how to communicate with her, okay? So I'm saying don't do that. Don't do that. Right? So I can show you just by going next to my cat how I'm going to do this with her without her wigging out at me. So let me set myself up. One, put my leash on properly. See, she immediately went to a sit with the pressure. Yeah. Now I'm going to start zigzagging. I'm going to do other things to keep her looking at me. The cat's right there. Loose pressure. Okay. Loose. Okay, now turning. Now she did look at him, but see how right there? She turned and looked at him and I popped. Pop. Pop. I'm communicating. No. Don't do that. Look at me instead, right? Don't worry about that distraction. You don't have to do that with a lot of force. It can just simply be a communicator of a little pop. And this is great, right? And now my son's outside too. So again, more distractions. There's a couple kids out on the street, a couple cats. This is all great. Yep. Okay, so again, my son's outside. So I'm going to show you how to work through that. Sit. Cora. I don't want a lot of tension. Again, see how far down it's gone? If you heard a little bit, she did a little bit of a... Yep. Okay. So positioning is super important, you know? It really lets you communicate. When it slips down is when you're going to see a lot of inconsistency. So keeping it positioned properly on her is really important. Okay, so there you have it. There's some good little tips as far as your positioning and how important your handling skills are to communicate you to your dog. As soon as they look away from you, no, pay attention to me. Don't let them focus on distractions and get overwhelmed by them. Move a lot, do different directions. Do not stay in the straight line. You want to do lots of direction changes, turns. All of a sudden now she's behind me, right? So if she gets even slightly ahead of me and I turn, now she's just ever slightly behind me. All right? Good. Well, there you have it. Hope that helps. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you guys need help with your dogs, give us a call today. Have a good one.